Welcome in, everyone. I'm your Vegas Nation host, Cassie Soto. Well, we knew that this year's quarterback carousel was going to be a wild one, but now it is spinning a little bit faster. Things are getting a little more hectic with the news that Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson has said that if a trade were to happen, the only teams he would consider are the Cowboys, Saints, Bears, and you guessed it, the Las Vegas Raiders. Here to give us some more information on this, to break it all down for us, is Raiders beat writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vinny Bonsignore. Vinny, Russell Wilson in silver and black? Could it happen?
Every time the Raiders think that they're out of the quarterback carousel, they somehow get sucked back in somehow, some way. Obviously, anytime you're talking about Russell Wilson, one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL, if you're the Raiders or anybody else, and he's expressing an interest in playing for you, you have to check in on that. You have to at least, explore it to find out what kind of cost they would incur to go make a trade like that. But based on that part of it, that end of it, it's going to be prohibitive. The cost to go get Russell Wilson is going to be prohibitive. I don't think the Raiders are in a position right now where they can pay that kind of a price, knowing what they need on defense and knowing how much they have to fix on defense and all the assets that they're going to try to pour into the defensive issues. To go ahead and give up a bunch of those assets, including Derek Carr, who is a top 10 quarterback based on what he did last year, it just doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense for the Raiders. From the Raiders' perspective. In a vacuum, obviously, Russell Wilson with the Las Vegas Raiders, you're talking about one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. That's not the issue. The issue is what would it cost to get him, and would the Raiders be willing to pay that price? I don't think so.
Well, put yourself in the shoes here of John Gruden and Mike Mayock for me, Vinny. What would you be willing to give up? You mentioned, obviously, Derek Carr. There's probably going to be some picks. And we know that they have to focus on defense here, but you just said it. To get Russell Wilson, if he sasays, hey, I'm interested in you, what are we doing here? What would it cost?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I could answer that, like what they would be okay with it. Maybe a straight up kind of a deal with that's not going to get it done between Derek Carr and Russell Wilson, but certainly not. And I was told by an NFL executive today, if you're using the Matthew Stafford haul as a comp, it's going to be way more than that. And let's keep in mind, the Rams gave up Jared Goff, a 26-year-old former Super Bowl quarterback, multiple Pro Bowl quarterback, plus 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick to Detroit to get Matthew Stafford. So if that's the starting point for talks, then the finish line is going to probably mean 3 first-round picks, Derek Carr, maybe another player. That's just too rich, I would think, for the Raiders' appetite. What they would accept, that's a tough question because, again, they have so much that they have to get done on defense, and they already have a quarterback that they're happy with, they're confident in. He led them to, Derek Carr did, to the 10th most points in the NFL. I don't get the feeling like they feel like they're so dire at quarterback that they have to go replace Derek Carr, even if it's with a Russell Wilson.
Well, this news, Vinny, comes on the heels of reports coming out saying that Derek Carr was closing in on a deal on an extension with the Raiders. Do you think this is putting a halt on that? Do you think they're just proceeding
I don't
as
think
normal?
it's gotten. Yeah, I think that was pretty much a bogus report. I think people were just throwing things up against the wall to see what sticks. I don't get the feeling at all that anything is imminent in that regard. Is that something that the Raiders and Derek Carr would explore at some point? Certainly. He's going into the last 2 years of his contract. None of it's guaranteed. From his perspective, obviously, he wants to get some guarantees put into that contract, an extension. He wants to be here with the Las Vegas Raiders. But if you're the Raiders, you're also sitting in a pretty good position because you have a quarterback at below market, who you're paying at below market value, well below market value. And you also have flexibility because all the guarantees of his contract have already been paid. So if you were to make a trade, if you were to decide to move on, if there was a better option that presented itself, you could get rid of Derek Carr without any penalty to your salary cap. So that's a pretty good position to be in. But I would imagine at some point the two sides are going to sit down and start talking about an extension. I don't feel, or at least my inclination and my sense is, those discussions have really happened on any kind of a serious basis.
Got it. All right. Well, the carousel is spinning, Vinny. I hope you're holding on. We're going to be here for the ride.
Absolutely. Thanks, Cassie.
Thank you, Vinny. For everything you need to know about the Raiders, head on over to vegasnation.com. Give Vinny a follow over on Twitter at Vinny Bonsignore. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.